What I do want to talk about right now is socialization, because it is so, so important for the dogs. So, us people, we think of socialization as two puppies playing with each other. Oh, isn't that cute? Isn't that lovely? My puppy's getting socialized. It's far more reaching than that. So I'm going to read to you the technical definition of what socialization is. Socialization is the act of teaching our dogs not to react by desensitizing them to everything they're going to experience in our human world. Okay, I'm going to say it again. It's a mouthful. Socialization is the act of teaching a dog not to react by desensitizing them to everything they're going to experience in our human world. Okay? So, for example, anyone seen a person out walking their dog and a skateboard comes along and the dog loses its brains? Okay? Right? That dog was not desensitized to a skateboard during its fear imprint. Okay? Which brings me back. What is fear imprint? A dog's fear imprint is they experience from 8 to 16 weeks of age. Okay? Whatever they don't experience by 16 weeks of age, they deem it as unsafe for life. Or whatever they've experienced in a negative, scary way, they will deem it as unsafe for life. Now, Dr. Sophia Yin just did a huge research project last year and discovered that the peak fear imprint for puppies is from 5 to 9 weeks of age. So for people who adopt their puppies at 12 weeks, you've got a 4-week window left, or you've already missed it. Okay? And this is what leads into these dogs that are skittish, so skittish and afraid of everything. It's because they didn't experience everything that they needed to experience about our human world by the time they were 16 weeks of age. Okay? So you want your puppies experiencing garbage trucks, city buses, school yards, the children. Puppies have the most trouble acclimatizing to men and children. With men, researchers, their hypothesis is that men's facial appearances can change more than women, in the sense that you have facial hair, and some don't. Some have glasses, some don't. Some have hats, some don't. Okay, so we've got 3 men here with very different appearances, right? One with glasses, no hat. One with no glasses, hat, no facial hair, hat, facial hair, no glasses, right? So it challenges the puppies, and it freaks them out. If they haven't experienced this enough, then it becomes problematic as they mature. And then children have a tendency to squeal, which taps into a dog's prey drive, right? So they hear the squealing, yahoo, we got a play toy here, let's get them to squeal some more because this kid's enjoying it, and look, they run, they want me to chase. Because that's what dogs do, is chase each other, right? They take turns, so if a child runs, woohoo, that dog's going to just amp right up and have a grand old time. Meanwhile, the parents are left going with kids that are afraid of their puppies now because they got the sharp little teeth, and my goodness, they've torn their 3rd set of pajamas, right? Or a 2nd pair of jeans, whatever, because all this damage is happening because the kids are squealing and running. So kids, not you guys, too mature kids. Is there any younger people at home, or are you? You have some. Okay, so with children, you want them to freeze, yell, and shun. Okay. The big thing is with kids, just get the kids to stop, cross their arms, and look away as soon as the puppies jump on them. Okay, and that disengages the behavior of the puppy. They don't want to keep chasing the child. Okay.
How old are they?
All right, so you want your dog experiencing all colors of people, walking gaits, okay? When I used to live in the city, I had a gentleman who had a problem, so he would drag his leg when he walked. Very freaky to dogs. If they haven't been exposed to that, they go, what's going on there, right? So you want them experiencing those kinds of things. If you have ambitions or hopes to have your dog become a therapy dog, then you want them getting used to canes and walkers and wheelchairs now. If there are grandchildren in your future, you want your puppy getting used to babies and children now while they're in their fear imprint. Once you're past that 16-week threshold, it becomes much more difficult. Okay, so here's the kicker. How old are the dogs when they're finally fully vaccinated and your vet says you're free to take the puppy out in public? Let's say, so with that then, I want you to weigh out the risks. So it's Dr. Ian Dunbar in the U.S. that surveyed 1,500 vet clinics in the U.S. and said, how many puppies do you lose a year to parvovirus? Because that's the big one that the vets are afraid of. And they said, on average, 5. They said, okay, you know, that happens. So how many puppies do you lose a year that have to be euthanized, or sorry, dogs under the age of 2 that have to be euthanized because of behavior problems rooted in lack of socialization? On average, across 1,500 vet clinics, it was 200 dogs a year. So 5 with parvo, 200 with behavior problems rooted in lack of socialization. So now when you start to see those statistics, you start to go, you know what, I'm at far greater risk of developing, my dog is at far greater risk of developing behavior problems if I don't socialize them under 16 weeks, okay? As opposed to contracting parvo. Having said that, there have been 17 cases of parvo this year, just in the last 6 months, in the Cornwall-Kingston area. So let's say you just can't live with the risk of taking the puppy out and about, okay? Then have parties at your house. Have the world come to your house, all right? So what I recommend you do is, guys, have a sports-oriented party with social drinks. What does that mean? You're going to watch the hockey game and get drunk. Okay? Why? Because you're going to get loud and boisterous. And having men in the house, gentleman here is now nudging his mom, saying, see, let's do it with the pup, okay? It's all for training the puppy, Mom. But what you do is you measure out the dog's food, or dinner, that meal, put it in little Ziploc bags. Tom, it's so good to see you tonight. Here, can you feed my puppy? John, glad you could come. You know, the Habs are playing tonight. Great, here's some kibble, feed my dog. Okay, so as people come in, give them kibble, say, here, feed my dog. So now your dogs are starting to learn that men are feeding them. Ooh, I like men. And as they're getting a little more relaxed and enjoying the game and cheering on their teams, the volume level is rising in the house, but nothing scary is happening. So it helps the dogs to acclimatize. Yes, okay, so let's say you say, okay, I can take my puppy out in public. I feel confident enough with the risk with that. Stay away from puddles and feces, because that's where the disease spreads, okay? So I don't recommend you take them to a dog park, because there isn't the guarantee that everyone at the dog park, 1, that they're dog-friendly dogs, or 2, that they're all fully vaccinated, okay? Now, I run puppy classes. Because I train in science, I don't train traditional, which means that I don't use chokes, prongs, or e-collars. I'm not allowed on my grounds, and harsh corrections aren't allowed. I use all science with my methodology of training dogs. With that means that I can start training puppies right from 8 weeks, okay? I do all positive reinforcement, and I'm always rewarding the dogs to let them know, yep, that's what I want, yep, that's what I want, yep, that's what I want. So the dogs start to go, oh, cool, okay, I'll give you more of that because it pays, right? But over time, weaning off the food and onto real life rewards, okay?